Hello everyone. The topic for today is triangles. Right now I want you to pause the video so you can copy down your notes and then resume when you're ready. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is classifying a triangle by its sides. So, before we get started, I wanted to point out that all three angles in a triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. So we need to keep that in mind as we go through this. So an equilateral triangle, all three sides have the same length and all the angles are 60 degrees. An isosceles triangle, it has two sides that have the same length, and then the angles opposite of those equal sides are congruent. So let's talk about what these marks mean. So this mark right here, that signifies, and we call it a tick mark, that signifies that it's equal to a different side because there's one tick mark. So because there's one tick mark on all three sides in this triangle, that means that all three of them are the same. As you look at the isosceles example, this tick mark and that tick mark, that means that this side and this side are the same, but this third side here at the bottom is not the same. So that's the way to look at that visually to see what kind of triangle it is. And then this side is opposite from this angle. This side is opposite from that angle. These two angles, so this angle right here, this angle right here, those are congruent, meaning they are the same because they are opposite from the sides that are the same. So if two sides are the same, that means that two angles have to be the same. If three sides are the same, three angles have to be the same. If zero sides are the same, then zero angles are the same. So, looking at a scalene triangle, that's when all three sides have different lengths, which also means that all three angles have different measurements. To classify a triangle by its angles, we have a right angle, or a right triangle. That means that it has a right angle. This symbol right here, that is the symbol for a right angle, not just in triangles, just in general. So if you see that symbol, that automatically means it's a right angle, which is 90 degrees. An obtuse triangle has one obtuse angle, which means that it has one angle that is greater than 90 degrees. So let's clean that up a little bit. So one angle that is greater than 90 degrees. An acute triangle means that all three angles are acute. So that means that all angles are less than 90 degrees. So let's classify this triangle by its sides, by its angles, as well as finding the value of x. So we can see that two angles, so here and here, those two angles are the same. This angle is across from that side, this angle is across from that side, this angle is across from that side. So since these two angles are the same, that means that this side and this side are the same. So that means that it is an isosceles triangle. To classify it by its angles, well, 56 plus 56, that gives us 112, and all three angles have to add up to 180. So 180 minus 112 gives us 68. So that means that all three angles are smaller than 90. So that means it is an acute triangle, and we just found the value of x, so x equals 68. Okay, let's classify this triangle by its sides and angles and find the value of x. So, classifying it by its angles, well, we see this symbol right here. That automatically means that it is a right triangle because we have the right angle, which is 90 degrees. Okay, classifying it by its sides, well, since one angle is 90 degrees, another angle is 45 degrees, well, 90 plus 45, that gives us 135. So that means that these two angles have added up to 135. Well, all three angles in a triangle have to add up to 180. So 180 minus 135, well, that's going to give us 45. So that means that this angle right here has to equal 45. Therefore, we've got this 45-degree angle and that 45-degree angle. And again, whenever we have two angles that are the same, that means that two sides are the same. So it is isosceles. And then the value of x, well, that 4x has to equal 45. So we're dividing by 4. So 45 divided by 4. We wind up with 11 1/4. So the value of 11 is 11, or excuse me, the value of x is 11 1/4, or you could say 11.25. Couple more examples. So looking at problem number 1, we have to write an equation to find the value of x in that triangle. So here, despite it being a kind of a bad picture, that is a 90-degree angle. So we have 90 plus 42 plus 6x has to equal 180. So we have to figure out which equation is going to have all of that, and then we also have to find the value of x. So that means that C and D can be eliminated because they don't have that it adds up to 180. If we add 90 and 42, we get 132. So we're just simplifying here. We have 6x. We subtract 132. We get 48. We divide by 6. That means that x has to equal 8. Therefore, A is our correct answer. So, I want you to solve this example and this example. Bring those answers along with any questions that you may have with you to class tomorrow.